This is Booked for Drama, where stories burn, hearts break, the tea is always hot and never a part 2. Today we're diving into the hottest guy in school said he'll date whoever answers his math question correctly. Let's go. The hottest guy in school said he'll date whoever answers his math question correctly. Well, everyone rushed to answer. He blushed and asked me, "What's 1 plus 1? What's 1 plus 1?" he asked softly. I looked straight into those bright mischievous eyes and said the first thing that came to my mind. 6. The class had erupted in laughter. My cheeks burned, but his only grew rudder. What nobody knew then was that he had been my husband in another life. The man I most wanted to avoid after being reborn. What I didn't know was that he had been reborn too. I had died on Christmas Day, my birthday, in a car accident after 5 years of marriage to Nathan. It had been years since I last saw him. Now he was the hottest singer-songwriter in the world, adored and worshipped by millions. I only saw him through a screen, his face projected onto flashing billboards, his voice carried through radios and cafes. At that moment, he was attending a fan meet. The venue was drenched in holiday cheer, twinkling with lights and Christmas trees, my favorite decoration. But when I looked closer, those trees weren't covered in ornaments. They were plastered with sticky notes. Each one scrawled with venom. Amy Wilson, why won't you just die? Once a home wrecker, always a home wrecker. Some fans were so bold, they confronted Nathan directly. When are you divorcing Amy? One shouted, I spent thousands on you. Not so you could waste it on designer bags for her. Designer bags? I wanted to laugh, but the sound caught in my throat. I had never owned one. I still carried the little teddy bear backpack Nathan bought me in college for $20. On the screen, his beautiful eyes shone, captivating and distant, and I remembered. The tallest Christmas tree he had ever brought home just to make me smile. The oversized Winnie the Pooh he had carried into our apartment, nearly tripping over the doorway. The food trucks he'd sneak me to after award ceremonies, though we could never eat more than a few bites before fans and paparazzi swarmed us. At the movies, we never sat side by side, always separate rows, far apart. He'd leave before the ending and I would trail out later, pretending we were strangers. Still, the paparazzi found us within 10 blocks. Every detail of our life was magnified, exaggerated, torn apart. My every word, every gesture became fodder for the media. I was once attacked online for daring to speak 7 seconds longer than Nathan during an interview. When I published my novel, critics claimed I was leeching off his fame. The backlash was so fierce I suspended it indefinitely. Work, friends, social life. It all slipped away. I lived in an empty mansion, waiting every night for him to come home. Waiting even though he rarely did. Nathan had become my entire world. During the Q&A, a reporter asked him, if you had a time machine and could change the past, what moment would you go back to? Nathan barely lifted his eyelids. He glanced at the reporter with his usual lazy charm and replied, if I had a time machine, I'd definitely avoid decking. The crowd laughed, thinking it was a joke. But my chest tightened. Yama, that was where we had first been photographed together, where our secret marriage of 1 year had been exposed. From that day forward, every news site had been flooded with my name and none of it kind. Nathan and I had been classmates in high school, though we only started dating in college. I had chased him then. Freshman year, I was bold and shameless, running after a boy who seemed untouchable, so effortlessly cool. Winning him hadn't been easy, and when we fought, it was always me who gave in first. Nathan never apologized. He could write the sweetest love songs the world adored, but he never really knew how to be in a relationship. Sophomore year, he performed Typhoon at the university's welcome ceremony. Music by him, lyrics by me. He stood there on stage, fresh-faced in a white shirt, guitar in hand. That was the day he went viral. Not long after, he signed with a management company and officially debuted. After graduation, we registered our marriage license in secret. That night, he had pressed a kiss to my shoulder, his voice low against my skin. I don't know how to protect you yet. When I figure it out, we'll go public. Okay, I nodded, even though my heart ached. I never got the cliffside wedding I dreamed of, never wore the pure white dress I used to imagine as a girl. As his career soared, his schedule grew tighter, his homecomings rarer. And when rumors swirled about him and a popular actress, I became the unwanted third party in the eyes of the fans. His manager, Chris, had once sneered, "A genius like Nathan could never belong to just one person." But Nathan, usually calm and collected, snapped at the media for the first time in his career. "Those fans threatening to leave because I'm married? Go ahead. I won't try to keep you. And those baseless rumors about her? They're unfair. Stop dragging her name through the mud." His voice had shaken then, fierce and angry. A side of him the world wasn't used to seeing. And me, sitting in our empty home, had almost believed it was enough. He'd offended me once, you know. He said, "She's not a public figure. She didn't sell her privacy to you." But those words, meant to shield me, only poured oil on the fire. His fans didn't soften, they grew harsher. I became the perfect punching bag for their fury. At first, every insult pierced me. Every hateful headline carved new wounds. But after a while, I grew numb. I stopped crying. I stopped defending myself. I let their words wash over me like a tide I could no longer resist. Honk! The sharp glare of a car horn snapped me out of my thoughts. My heart seized. I turned, only to see a massive truck swerving wildly in my direction. Its headlights blinded me. For a single, suspended second, time stopped. Then came the impact. The world spun, pain splitting through me like shattered glass. My vision blurred. My breath caught. I fumbled for my phone, desperate to hear his voice one last time. My fingers trembled as I hit record. "Nathan, remember to eat properly. Don't work too hard. How much better would it be if you weren't Nathan James?" My voice cracked. Our last conversation had been a month ago. I had begged him almost pathetically then. Can we just have a normal relationship like when we first started? Like every ordinary couple in the world? You could take me to the night market and we could eat creamy crab, not just one bite before you run away because we've been spotted. You wouldn't leave me behind, pretending I wasn't there. We could walk hand in hand to the theater, sit side by side, and watch a movie like everyone else. When I'm scared, you could cover my eyes. When I'm excited, I could hold your hand. When I'm tired, I could lean on your shoulder. Don't sit so far away from me. If it snowed after the movie, we could walk through it together until our hair turned white with age. Don't just come home to sleep and leave in a hurry. Don't make me wake up alone. I had poured my heart out, clinging to fragile hopes, but he never replied. He never promised what he couldn't deliver. When I opened my eyes again, I wasn't lying in a hospital bed. I was back in high school. The classroom was noisy, filled with chatter, just like old times. My heart pounded as realization struck me. In this life, I would let go of Nathan's hand. Sometimes people don't part because of anger or betrayal. Sometimes they separate so both can breathe. Around me, the gossip flowed freely. "Did you hear? The hottest guy in school said he'll date whoever answers his math question correctly." I didn't need to look to know who they meant. Nathan. I lifted my head anyway. His desk was surrounded by love-struck girls, their faces glowing with adoration. But soon, groans and complaints rippled through the crowd. "Guys, who understands this? This isn't math. It's just random letters and symbols. Seriously, it's impossible." Then, amid the noise, Nathan's gaze swept the room. His eyes flickered when they landed on me. "Amy," he called deliberately, his voice smooth and clear. "Why don't you try?" The room went silent for a beat, then erupted in whispers. "Amy? Seriously? She's terrible at math. If the class representative can't solve it, what chance does she have? She can't even pass math tests." Their words stung, but they weren't wrong. Sophomore me wasn't exactly shining in academics. The only recognition I ever earned was winning a new concept writing competition in junior year. That victory alone had eventually carried me to the same university as Nathan, the math competition gold medalist. He had always been the moon in the sky, untouchable, dazzling. I had always been the frost on the ground, fragile, fleeting. And this time, I wouldn't even dare dream. Under his unwavering gaze, I smiled faintly and shook my head. In our past life, we had both tried so hard, but it hadn't been enough. No one could fix what was broken. So I smiled and I let go. I promised myself I wouldn't cry. As he turned away, Olivia, my desk mate, nudged my elbow. Amy, since when are you so close to the hottest guy in school? I've never even seen you talk before. I lowered my eyes. We're not close. It was true. In high school, Nathan and I weren't close at all. Yet the jealous glances shooting at me from every direction felt painfully familiar, like echoes of a past I had already lived. Some things never changed, but this time, I could choose not to step into the storm. Nathan slammed his textbook onto his desk. His expression darkened, silencing the crowd instantly. He pushed through the circle of girls and came straight to me. My breath caught as he slapped his notebook onto my desk. His face flushed, eyes blazing with intensity. Amy, his voice trembled. What's 1 + 1? Even after everything, even after a lifetime apart, my heart still skipped at the sight of him. I hesitated, then whispered the same answer as before. Sex. Gasps filled the classroom. No fair. Someone cried. Why were our questions so hard and hers so easy? Obviously, he's giving Amy special treatment. Who does she think she is? Rejecting him like that. The noise swelled, but Nathan's expression didn't change. His eyes stayed locked on me, dark and unreadable. Amy, he said quietly, would you help me write lyrics? For a song called Typhoon. He opened his notebook with elegant fingers, revealing a carefully composed melody. I think this song should belong only to you. My chest tightened. Typhoons? That song hadn't been written until his sophomore year of college. A wild thought struck me. Could it be Nathan was also reborn? I looked up, my gaze drawn to the almond shape of his eyes, the small birthmark beneath his brow, features I knew by heart. He reached out and ruffled my hair gently, his voice rough with unspoken emotion. I'm sorry. Give me one more chance this time. I won't lose you. The Nathan I remembered. The one who had never apologized, who always stayed silent, blurred with the arrogant, handsome boy before me. It felt like a lifetime folded in on itself. I shook my head, my voice low. Nathan, are we even friends? The classroom fell into a stunned hush, like someone had hit pause on a chaotic movie scene. Olivia's elbow dug into my side again, her wide eyes screaming, "What are you doing?" But I couldn't tear my gaze from Nathan. His hand froze midair, still hovering where he'd ruffled my hair, as if my words had short-circuited him. In our past life, we'd been everything, classmates, lovers, husband and wife. But here, in this noisy high school classroom with chalk dust floating in the air and lockers slamming in the hallway, we were supposed to be strangers. Or at least, that's what I wanted. No more chasing the moon only to freeze in its shadow. Nathan's eyes, those same almond-shaped ones that had once looked at me with lazy affection during late-night songwriting sessions, narrowed slightly. But then something flickered in them. Recognition? Regret? He straightened up, shoving his notebook back into his bag with a casual shrug that didn't match the faint blush still staining his cheeks. Fine, he said, his voice steady but laced with something sharper. If we're not friends yet, let's start there. Lunch. My treat. You like those spicy ramen cups from the cafeteria, right? My heart stuttered. How did he know that? In high school, I'd always grabbed the mild ones. Spicy food made my nose run, and I hated looking messy in front of him. It wasn't until college, after our first real date, that I confessed my secret love for the fire-hot version. He left then, teasing me about being all frost on the outside, wildfire within. The class erupted again, whispers turning into outright chatter. Did he just ask her out? Amy? Seriously? She's terrible at math. If the class representative can't solve it, what chance does she have? She can't even pass math tests. Their words stung, but they weren't wrong. Sophomore me wasn't exactly shining in academics. The only recognition I ever earned was winning a new concept writing competition in junior year. That victory alone had eventually carried me to the same university as Nathan, the math competition gold medalist. He had always been the moon in the sky, untouchable, dazzling. I had always been the frost on the ground, fragile, fleeting. And this time, I wouldn't even dare dream. Under his unwavering gaze, I smiled faintly and shook my head. In our past life, we had both tried so hard, but it hadn't been enough. No one could fix what was broken. So I smiled and I let go. I promised myself I wouldn't cry. As he turned away, Olivia, my desk mate, nudged my elbow. Amy, since when are you so close to the hottest guy in school? I've never even seen you talk before. I lowered my eyes. We're not close. It was true. In high school, Nathan and I weren't close at all. Yet the jealous glances shooting at me from every direction felt painfully familiar, like echoes of a past I had already lived. Some things never changed, but this time, I could choose not to step into the storm. Nathan slammed his textbook onto his desk. His expression darkened, silencing the crowd instantly. He pushed through the circle of girls and came straight to me. The room went silent for a beat, then erupted in whispers. Amy, dear, he called deliberately, his voice smooth and clear. Why don't you try? The noise swelled, but Nathan's expression didn't change. His eyes stayed locked on me, dark and unreadable. Amy, his voice trembled. What's 1 + 1? The bell rang, signaling the end of homeroom. Olivia grabbed my arm as we shuffled out into the crowded hallway, lockers banging like punctuation marks to the chaos. Amy, spill. Since when does the school heartthrob know your ramen preferences? And that math question? 1 + 1 foot? That was baby level easy. He totally rigged it for you. I shrugged, dodging a group of freshmen giggling over their phones. Coincidence. Maybe he overheard me in the cafeteria once. But my mind was racing. If Nathan was reborn too, did that mean he remembered the fan hate? The isolation? The way I'd begged for normalcy, only for him to choose his career over us every time? We made it to English class, where Ms. Hargrove was already scribbling quotes from Shakespeare on the board. Love is a smoke raised with the fume of sighs. It read. I snorted under my breath, more like a wildfire that burns everything down. As I slid into my seat by the window, a folded note landed on my desk. I unfolded it, heart sinking. 1 + 1 = us. Give me a chance to prove it. N. I crumpled it, shoving it into my backpack. No, this time, I was rewriting the ending. My novel had been my escape in the past life. Maybe in this one, I could focus on school, friends, and actually living without the shadow of his fame. But fate, or whatever cruel force had thrown us back here, had other plans. Throughout the morning, whispers followed me like ghosts. In history class, while Mr. Ellis droned on about ancient civilizations, a girl behind me leaned forward. Hey, Amy, is it true Nathan's crushing on you? Lila's furious. She's been after him since freshman year. I forced a laugh. Rumors. I'm just trying to pass my classes. But inside, memories flooded back. Paparazzi flashes, online trolls dissecting my every outfit, fans camping outside our home. If Nathan pursued me now, would high school turn into the same nightmare? By lunch, the cafeteria was buzzing like a hive. Nathan's math challenge had gone viral on the school gossip app, with memes of his blush face edited onto math equations. Girls shot me dirty looks as I grabbed my tray, mild ramen this time, just to spite his memory. Olivia plopped down across from me, her tray loaded with fries. Okay, seriously, what's the deal with you and Nathan? I saw him staring at you during gym earlier, like full-on heart eyes emoji. Before I could answer, a shadow fell over our table. I looked up to see Lila Thompson, the school's self-proclaimed queen bee and Nathan's biggest fangirl. Her perfectly glossed lips curled into a sneer, flanked by her two minions. Amy Wilson, right? The one who thinks she's special because Nathan threw her a softball question. Lila flipped her hair, her voice dripping honeyed venom. Newsflash, he's just being nice. Everyone knows you're failing math. Stick to your little books. Olivia bristled. Back off, Lila. Not everyone needs to solve riddles to get attention. I stayed calm, stirring my ramen. In my past life, I'd faced worse. Death, threats from fans, doxing, paparazzi camping outside our house. This was child's play. If you're so jealous, why didn't you answer his question? Lila's face twisted. Because it's rigged. He only likes smart girls, whatever you are. She snatched my notebook from the table, the one where I'd been doodling story ideas, and flipped through it. A novel? How cute. Bet it's some sappy romance where the nerd gets the hot guy. Dream on. She tossed it back, pages fluttering. But as she turned to leave, Nathan appeared at the end of our table, tray in hand. The cafeteria quieted like someone had flipped a switch. Lila, he said coolly, his voice carrying. Jealousy doesn't suit you. And for the record, Amy's smarter than half the school combined. He set his tray down next to mine, uninvited, and slid into the seat. Mind if I join? Lila's face turned beet red. She stormed off, her minions trailing like lost puppies. Olivia's jaw dropped. Holy plot twist. Nathan ignored her, turning to me with that soft, earnest look I'd fallen for twice now. His cheeks were still faintly pink like he was fighting a blush. Amy, about earlier, I didn't mean to put you on the spot, but Typhoon, it's our song. Remember? Our song. The one that launched his career. The one I'd written lyrics for in a past life, pouring my heart into every word about a love that weathered storms. I met his gaze, my resolve cracking just a little. Nathan, why are you doing this? We barely know each other. He leaned in, voice low so only I could hear. Because I remember everything. The fans, the isolation, the way I failed you. This time, I'm not letting fame ruin us. No secrets, no distance. Just us starting over like normal high school kids. My throat tightened. Normal, the word I'd begged for in our last conversation. But could we really have that? Or was history doomed to repeat? Before I could respond, the PA system crackled. Attention students. Sign-ups for the Winter Festival talent show are open. Auditions start tomorrow. Nathan's eyes lit up. Perfect. Amy, team up with me? You write the lyrics, I'll compose. We could win this and prove we're meant to be. Olivia squealed. Do it. This is rom-com gold. I hesitated, flashbacks hitting me. Our past fights, the empty mansion, the truck's blinding lights. But looking at his hopeful, blushing face, maybe this reborn Nathan was different. Maybe we could be fine, I whispered. One song, but no promises beyond that. He grinned, that rare, genuine smile that made my heart flip. Deal. But Amy, 1 + 1? It's always been you and me. As the cafeteria buzzed back to life, I wondered if letting go was the wrong equation after all. Maybe this time, the math added up to a second chance. The afternoon dragged on like a bad sequel. In math class, ironically, Mr. Patel paired us up for a group project on probability. Guess who ended up as my partner? Nathan, of course. He slid into the seat next to me, notebook already open, as if this was fate's way of mocking me. Probability of us working out this time? He murmured, sketching equations with effortless grace. His handwriting was the same, neat, looping, like the lyrics he'd scribble on napkins in our past life. I rolled my eyes, focusing on the worksheet. 0% if you keep bringing up the past. He chuckled, low and warm. Fair. But seriously, Amy, I want to make this right. In our old life, I was selfish. Choose the spotlight over you. This time, no music deals, no fame. Just school dates and normal stuff. Normal? There it was again. But as we worked, our hands brushing over the paper, memories crept in. Late nights in college, him strumming guitar while I typed lyrics. The way he'd hum my words back to me, making 'em sound like magic. By the end of class, we'd ace the project, his math genius carrying my weak spots. As we packed up, he slipped me another note. Meet me after school? Library. For the song. I sighed. One meeting couldn't hurt. The library was quiet, sunlight filtering through dusty windows onto rows of books. Nathan was already there, at a corner table, guitar case propped against his chair. No one else around, probably because the Winter Festival buzz had everyone in the auditorium practicing. You came, he said, relief softening his features. He looked vulnerable, like the boy I'd chased in college, not the untouchable star. I sat across from him, pulling out my notebook. Just for the lyrics. Let's keep it professional. He nodded, strumming a soft melody, the beginnings of Typhoon. Hearing it again sent chills down my spine. I remember how you wrote the original, about a love that survives storms. That's us, Amy. We survived worse. I bit my lip, words flowing despite myself. Storms come and go, but roots hold deep. We worked for hours, the old chemistry sparking. Laughter slipped in, him teasing my poetic nonsense, me mocking his math brain. As the sun set, painting the library orange, he set down his guitar. Amy, why'd you say 6 back then? In class, I froze. In our past life, my flirty sex answer had been the start of it all, a bold joke that won him over. Now, reborn and wary, I changed it to avoid the spark, because 1 + 1 could be anything, a family, a mistake. 6 was random. He reached across the table, his hand covering mine. Not random. It's us, reborn, with a chance to add up differently. My heart raced. Pulling away felt wrong, but staying meant risking it all again. Outside, snow began to fall, early for the season. Nathan walked me to the bus stop, our breaths fogging the air. See? Normal. Walking you home in the snow. I smiled despite myself. Don't push it. But as the bus pulled away, leaving him waving in the flurry, I wondered, could we really be normal? Or would Lila's jealousy, the school's gossip, and our shared past turn this into another tragedy? Little did I know, Lila was watching from the shadows, phone in hand, already plotting her next move. The next day, school felt like a pressure cooker. Whispers followed me everywhere from lockers to the gym, where dodgeballs flew like accusations. Amy's stealing Nathan. She's using him for grades. Even teachers raised eyebrows during roll call. Olivia cornered me in the bathroom during break. Girl, the gossip app is exploding. Someone posted a pic of you two in the library last night. Lila's commenting fire emojis, like she's burning you alive. I groaned, splashing water on my face. It's just a song for the festival. Nothing more. But deep down, doubt and nod. In our past life, small rumors snowballed into avalanches. Was this the start? In science class, we were dissecting frogs, fitting since my heart felt pinned open. Nathan sat across the lab, partnered with some guy, but his eyes kept drifting to me. When the teacher stepped out, he slid over. About last night, the lyrics are gold. We could practice after school. My place, no pressure. His place, memories flashed. Our college apartment, cozy and cluttered with sheet music. But in high school Nathan lived in a modest house with his parents. Normal, just like he promised. Before I could answer, Lila accidentally knocked over a beaker nearby, spilling water everywhere. Oops. Sorry, Amy. Hope it doesn't ruin your notes. Her smirk said otherwise. Nathan shot her a glare. Grow up, Lila. She flipped her hair. Just looking out for you, Nathan. She's not your type. Too ordinary. Tension thick. I stood, wiping my wet notebook. I'm out. I grabbed my bag and left, heart pounding. Nathan caught up in the hallway. Amy, wait, ignore her. She's jealous because I turned her down last year. I spun on him. That's the problem, Nathan. Jealousy turns toxic. In our past, it destroyed us. Fans, media, it's starting here with school drama. He grabbed my arm gently. This time's different. No fame. I'll protect you. Protect. The word he'd promised before, but never delivered. Tears pricked my eyes. How? By blushing and asking easy math questions. He pulled me into an empty classroom, closing the door. By being honest. I remember begging you not to leave in our last fight. You wanted normal, I get it now. Let's build that, starting with the festival. His sincerity cracked my walls. Okay, your place, but just practice. His house was warm, filled with the smell of homemade cookies, his mum's specialty. She greeted me with a hug like I was already family. Nathan's told me about you, the writer girl. Up in his room, posters of bands covered the walls. No fame yet, just dreams. He played the melody on his guitar and I sang the lyrics softly. Our voices blended perfectly, like they always had. As night fell, snow piling outside, he set the guitar down. Amy, that last Christmas, I should have been there, not at a fan meet. I froze. You remember the accident? He nodded, eyes glistening. Woke up here, same as you, vowed to change. No more letting you slip away. We talked for hours about regrets, dreams, the pain. For the first time, he apologized. Truly. But as I left, my phone buzzed. An anonymous text, stay away from Nathan. Or everyone sees your secrets. Attached, a blurry pic of us in his room. Lila? Or something worse? The storm was brewing and auditions were tomorrow. Could our second chance survive high school's petty wars? The end. And that's a wrap on today's reading here at Booked for Drama. If you felt anything, rage, swoon, second-hand heartbreak, let me know in the comments. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share with your fellow drama lovers. If you have any requests, drop them in the comments. Until next time, keep reading, and keep the drama on the page.